How's it going, guys? Mr. Moki Moki with an episode 19 review of Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains this week. And I gotta be honest, I really like this episode. I'm even gonna go out on a limb and say this is probably the best episode we've gotten so far. Simply because of the visual aspects and the story aspects that we've gotten in this episode by itself. Now, granted, I'm not sure how everybody feels about how like it becomes like a back and forth duel in the beginning, and then we kind of just like stop the momentum of the duel to talk about the past. But either way, I still liked this episode, and I still think it's probably the best episode that we've gotten so far, simply because of how much emotion that we get from Yusaku, and even Kusanagi, as well as just like the visual aspects of the duel that we've gotten. And it's probably because of my boy Decode Talker. But before I go on, I just want to give a shout out to Androyus, because last week I was asking what the Tindangle archetype was really about, or what it represents, and he comes to me in the comment section and he completely explains it. And if I remember correctly, it's about the Hounds of Tindalos. If you people were interested in the Tindangle archetype, and it has some triangle motives. So they mixed Tindalos with triangle, and that's how we got Tindangle. So that was interesting to read. I honestly didn't go and do any studying to confirm this, but I just took him at his word because it sounded correct. But if that's interesting, I have no idea about the Hounds of Tindalos. I haven't studied it. I don't know much about it. But if you guys do know about the Hounds of Tindalos, and that makes this like Tindangle archetype more appealing to you, let me know if you guys are going to play it, or if you guys are going to test with it online, because I know some of the Tindangle cards did get shown in this last week's V-Jump. Well, last month's V-Jump, I guess, this month's. And yeah, so maybe some Tindangle stuff is going to be going on. I'd like to see it. If that's something that interests you, go ahead. But yeah, can I just say, going into this episode, I was not expecting to get as much of like a reveal of the backstory as we did. But it makes sense because we did get episode 20 reveal in terms of like summary. So we know that this duel pretty much finishes next episode. But that's mini spoilers. But yeah, so when when this duel began and we got to see like Decode Talker just like jump into the air. I don't know what he was doing. He was doing some many flips. Did Decode end on Akira's chest for a direct attack? And then all we see is like steam coming off of Akira. Akira like flies backwards. He does like some backflips, lands on the ground. And like we see like the digital part of his body just like cut. And then there's steam like running off of his body. And honestly, then we slowly see like that data start to heal up on his body. And honestly, that visual effect right there like had my jaw just drop. I was like, wow, that looked crazy. Just like the way that Decode Talker just takes a clean slice out of Akira, and then he's just like, wow. I don't know. I don't know how to go on. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm Decode Talker hype, but I don't know, man. He looks cool. That was a cool attack. You got steam rolling off of Akira's body. Like, man, you're not gonna get that. Like, we didn't get that anywhere else, and that was sick. I really enjoyed that. But anyway, I digress. Other than that, the visual aspects of this episode was pretty good. Just that scene really made it for me. Other than that, we got a back and forth duel between Playmaker and Akira. So it's pretty interesting. We got like it's not really like one-sided either. It's not like Akira is really pushing against Yusaku to make the giant comeback, but he will make a giant comeback. But eventually Akira does get a lockout combo on Playmaker. And then as soon as that happens, he draws his last card and sets it, and then they start talking about Yusaku's past. So yeah, and then Blue Angel finally reveals herself to be watching the duel, and she wants to know more about Playmaker. She doesn't know what to do with her life because she doesn't know what she's fighting for anymore. So she wants to ask Playmaker what he's fighting for so that maybe she can finally understand. Because now I feel like Blue Angel isn't really on Akira's side right now. She wants to know what Playmaker really wants, and in terms so she can make the decision. Is she going to fight for her brother, or is she going to fight against the evil about Akira? And like it says at the end of the episode that Akira and Playmaker pretty much want the same thing, but the means of going about it is wrong. So we learned that with Yusaku, he was just pretty much growing up to live with this almost PTSD of being tortured through dueling. If he didn't win the duel, he doesn't get to eat, or not a lot. So he pretty much gets to survive on scrapes. Doesn't know when he gets to, doesn't know how long he's been in there. Doesn't know how long, like until he gets free. If he ever gets free, he pretty much has to accept that as his life. And yeah, and then he says that some people, like, yeah, he decided to go on the route of revenge. He doesn't have friends. He doesn't have people to talk about his future with, or his past, or precious memories, because he doesn't have those. He doesn't have any of that. He doesn't, like, his only future is dealing with this. And my question to you guys is revenge okay in that instance when you have nothing else to live for? This is what your life is leading up to. And I'm really hoping that for Yusaku's character, that this gets addressed. Maybe he does gain something to fight for, and that revenge, like, isn't the way. But I don't know. I don't know if this is the message that Vrains is going for. Is revenge going to be okay now that Yusaku doesn't have anything else to fight for? Even like Ignis, who considers himself Playmaker's friend, he says, and he's very cold, he's like, I don't need the warmth of others. I only need myself. And it's funny because I would consider that Kusanagi is Yusaku's friend, but I'm not sure if Yusaku would consider Kusanagi his friend. But he's fighting with Kusanagi because his brother hasn't recovered from what happened. He is still in that PTSD moment. He can't even go out and live because of what has happened to him and Yusaku. And I know we have our suspicions that one of the other 6 children was Revolver. Or it could be that one of the persons that like was talking to him that gave him the 3 reasons was Revolver. That's our suspicion. We don't really have any confirmation, but we have a good, clear idea. But other than that, yeah. We don't know if like Revolver was in charge. Well, not in charge, but like just one of the reasons for watching it. And just watching Yusaku duel and just giving him encouraging things. Or if he was one of the 6 children talking to him. But yeah. So going back to my Yusaku point. So he's fighting for revenge. And I really wanted Yusaku to say, I know that he's using dueling to get his revenge, but I thought maybe with this episode we would get like, and I like him saying, I hate dueling. I don't even like dueling because of what happened to me. He was forced to duel. Because we kind of got that in the first episode with Kusanagi saying to him, he doesn't, I know you don't enjoy dueling, Yusaku, but please do this, or something along those lines. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. But I honestly thought because of what happened to Yusaku, he would say like, hey, I don't even enjoy dueling. I'm just doing this because it's the only way. And some of us might laugh at that, but this is like Yu-Gi-Oh! And for every other series, like, this is how everything is dealt with. Cards are always the way to deal with things. Dueling is always the way to deal with things. So, I mean, like, suspend your belief, and just enjoy the show for what it is. Because, you know, it's Yu-Gi-Oh! And, we just kind of have to accept some ridiculous stuff. But that's really it, honestly. Um, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm enthralled because Yusaku is such a new, fresh take on a protagonist for Yu-Gi-Oh! For us. Um, and it still deals with the duality of things like Zio did. Um, this time, like Ignis thinking, like, because he obviously has free will. Because why would an AI care about friendship? Um, but it makes me question as well, what does Ignis want? If he cared so much about Yusaku's friendship, or actually does care, like what is Ignis's goals in all of this? Um, so it's interesting, and I don't know, just the amount of information that we got from Yusaku. I just have so much to talk about, but I don't want to clutter up the video. So I mean, if you guys have your points in the comment section down below, please leave them. I love to read them. I love to talk. But yeah, so let me know what you guys think. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.